Long-haired creatures come out every night, try to tell you what's wrong and what's right. But when asked how about something to eat, they will answer in voices so sweet. You will eat by and by, in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay. You'll get pie in the sky when you die.
Hi, this is Contessa Harkey from Spiral Cult Circus, and we're out here at Occupy the Reservoir. I wanted to let you know a little bit about why we decided to get involved in this particular issue. We're Portland residents, and we have to drink the water. And what they're planning on doing is taking our clean Bull Run water and blending it with polluted Willamette water and selling it back to us for 50% higher rates over the next 5 years. Not only that, but we're going to be going into debt in order to do this work, and it's all coming from a place that is not scientific. We have no reason to cover our reservoirs. I think a lot of people just don't realize how far along this project is already. We're gonna wake up one day and it'll be gone. Fortunately, there are people out there who realize and have been trying for quite some time to work on this issue. This is Jesse Sponberg of Fight Church Television. He's also the Camp Cascadia outreach coordinator for this event. The crowd you see here represents the efforts of him and others like him for weeks, months, and in some cases years. So I'm assuming that most of you watching are like me. You don't normally go out and tangle with the Portland Police Department. Given their track record, it would be a foolish thing to do. However, under the circumstances, and given that in this case, unlike so many others, there was a large effort made beforehand to do outreach in the community. There were clear organizers, there was clear leadership in the matter, people that I could trust to make good decisions. I was willing, I was prepared to go out and risk a confrontation and potential arrest by the Portland Police Department in the name of our water. That doesn't mean I was looking forward to it. But if that's what it took to get the job done, I was willing. Now this is a really interesting story.
My name is Joe Walsh, and I'm a veteran living here in Portland, Oregon, and we have a problem. They are going to cover a reservoir, and they're going to bury our precious water. It'll cost us $1 billion, and the end result is we will drink groundwater.
We have the most wonderful water systems in the United States, bull run, gravity fed, an absolutely beautiful place set aside in the late 1800s, 1896, something like that. I think it was 1902 or 1904 under President Benjamin Harrison, Bull Run Trespass Act. Nobody could be up there unless it was water related. Horses had to wear diapers. And we had the most marvelous people that were working to protect our water, and it went on for years.
There's also a move to take the water and mix it with our rivers. But the officials will tell you, like they told us with fluoride, just a little bit. We'll mix a little bit with the good water coming from Bull Run. We have the best water in the United States.
November 11th, 1996. Our wonderful Charlie Beals mayor was a city councilor then. I have a tongue in my cheek when I say that. And he was the first one who voted in the regional water supply plan, which says that our next income of drinking water will be the Clackamas, the polluted Willamette, or the most radioactive river in the Western Hemisphere, the Columbia River.
Beginning shortly after the 9/11 incident, there was concern that reservoirs such as we have might be potential targets for terrorist attack. After studies, this was discovered to not really be a likely scenario. But during that time period when the assessments were taking place, some companies that make their money on public works projects realized that there was a lot to be made in covering reservoirs like ours. So these corporations put some of their own people into city government positions where they could influence the outcome of deliberations. In Portland, that man was Joe Glicker.
The EPA told us, and the judge made this decision, you can cover your reservoirs or treat. Nobody is taking the second option. We're going to spend what the Department of Water says, $400 million to do this. I suspect it will be twice that.
You can find out a lot more about the facts and figures and dates and names of this case by visiting whoisjoeglicker.wordpress.com, which I highly recommend you all do. It should be noted that his wife, Lisa Obermeyer, at the time worked for MWH Global, which is one such corporation that makes its money that way. Mr. Glicker and his wife, Lisa Obermeyer, currently work for CH2M Hill, where they are continuing to benefit from these city contracts, which are awarded with no bids, no public processing whatsoever. It should be noted that Mayor Charlie Hales, as well as Commissioner Saltzman, have both received significant campaign contributions from CH2M Hill. This is an example of bribery and cronyism at its absolute worst.
Yeah, one thing that I have looked at and that I've been really concerned about is the story that we hear from the Water Bureau that it's because our system is so old and the direct operating expenses for the system have only gone up less than $3 million a year every year since 2000. It's really the debt service for the construction projects, which are only for construction. They can't be used to take care of the system. Those have gone up from $13 million a year in 2000 to $47 million a year this year, with the total debt as of the last bonds is at $892 million, including interest. And all of that is for construction-only loans.
I rent an apartment. I don't pay water. Yes, I do. Because the rent will increase. And every person that owns apartments, when they get hit with the bill, what do? They pass it on to the renters. My rent was just raised $50 about 2 months ago because the water rates went up then. The reason we're paying so much money is the debt. When they finish with this, we could go over $1 billion in debt, and we will pay it for the next 30 years. Who's going to pay that money? The ratepayers. Are we angry? Yes, we're angry. We're going to end up spending $1 billion, having our rates increase, having our rents increase, and we're going to end up, again, with brown water.
The total of these various and sundry contracts is between $400 and $600 million. Including the debt service, the cost to the city of Portland is $1.25 billion. The only thing he has writing on this is campaign dollars, and that should not be what decides how we, the people of Portland, are going to have to live into the future. The first day, in the middle of the day, when there were still many children running around, the police came on these four-wheelers and threatened to run rampage through the camp if we did not take down all of the tents. As we are not like our enemy, rather than having this travesty occur in front of the children, we agreed to take the tents down. That didn't mean that we weren't going to stick it out, but rather that we were going to have to obviously very carefully mediate with the powers that be if we wanted to be allowed to stay in the park at all. You gotta admire these people's chutzpah, at least. They decided that they weren't going to comply with the order entirely and put their small pup tent back up. The park personnel informed them that the tent had to come down, and the gentleman involved took down his tent. And after the tent was already down, the police came and arrested the man.
What are the charges? What's the charge?
Oh, not his wife, the one in a wheelchair. That would have been bad PR. No, they just wanted to flex their muscles and show that they meant business. Typical. What's happened, America, that we cannot peaceably assemble and show our disapproval of the criminal behaviors of those who have sworn to care for our needs?
We're peaceful. You come armed to the teeth. Take your guns, get out.
You're gonna walk across the street?
Take your guns, get out.
are on Monday, and still no answer to our demand that the waiver be sought by our public officials so that we do not have to move forward with this nonsensical and non-fundable project. This is going to end up costing us 50% higher rates over the next 5 years. I don't know about you, but I can't even afford my bills right now, much less a hike of that great a magnitude. And why do they want to do this? Because they think that since we have protected our water source and made sure that it was clean and safe, that's a good reason to come in here and take it away from us and sell it to other people at a premium. Now, I'm not having it. And I've written a song just for you.
I asked my neighbor for the word today. What with all the shouting are they trying to say? It's the same old story that we know so well, and you can lay it squarely on Charlie Hales. We the people got us something to say. You're not gonna sell our safety away. Charlie Hales, hang your head in shame. We the people know who's to blame. We know the Willamette is a wasted source. No, you should not swim it or drink it, of course. In the city of roses, what is that smell? It's the tainted travesty of Charlie Hales. We the people got us something to say. You're not gonna sell our safety away. Charlie Hales, hang your head in shame. We the people know who's to blame. So bring your cops, bring your guns. We'll bring laughter, music, and fun. Yeah, we're holding our ground for everyone, and we won't talk our tails and run. We the people got us something to say. You're not gonna sell our safety away. Charlie Hales, hang your head in shame. We the people know who's
We'd had a pretty good time most of the day. We had entertainment out there. Boys Without Toys came and played for us, for which we were very grateful. And Jesse hosted Fight Church from the Mount Tabor location. And for the most part, they left us alone until it got to be toward midnight. I wish I could tell you that everything went according to plan. And we won! And we stayed there all night! And it was great! We threw a huge party! But I'm a documentarian.
The organization. Hey, can you stop heckling me, please?
And that means I have to tell you the truth, even when it hurts.
Okay, listen, this is really serious, and I'm not really comfortable with the corner that we've been painted into. So we have a couple considerations to make. Okay, right now, we told them this morning that we're not going to leave at midnight. It's midnight. We're still in the fucking park. However, there's about 45 cops right up the street itching to beat the shit out of us right now. I would like to be able to wake up in the morning and write a press release about the success of Camp Cascadia. I would like to write a press release that says Camp Cascadia was a rousing success, that we built a broad-based coalition that we can build from in the future. You know, 3 weeks ago, you probably couldn't find 24 people in Portland that you could have a conversation with about the reservoirs. Now we have hundreds, literally hundreds of people. But you gotta kind of ask yourselves why you are in the park today. And if the reason you're in the park today is because you really care about the long-term success of this plan, because this battle isn't gonna be won in one fucking night. This battle isn't gonna be won in one argument with the cops. This battle isn't gonna be won by us getting pepper spray. This battle is gonna be won by coming back. Maybe not to this park tomorrow, but with the same intensity, the same intent, and the same intelligence, and the same calmness that has gotten us 4 days in here. I'm really proud of you guys. Declare victory and be able to raise our fists in declaration of a mission accomplished. Now, if you came here tonight for the sole purpose to engage the police, I feel that. I feel that. I have the NLG number written on my leg. I'm here too. But I'm not here to be selfish. And this isn't fucking about me. And I hope everybody here realizes it's not about them as an individual. This is about generations. This is about your kids. These are about grandkids that you don't even have that are going to be paying for this. So there's 2 ways we can wake up tomorrow. We can wake up tomorrow with the news talking about what a great success Camp Cascadia was. Or we can wake up tomorrow with the news talking about how we got beat up again and wasted taxpayer money, which I'm fucking down to do. But I don't think it's in the best interest of my grandkids' watering for me to be selfish tonight and go to jail. Because believe, I would love to have another glamour shot, mug shot. I collect them, but I don't think it's in our best interest. I mean, look, we've already won. It's after midnight and we are still in this park. So I think the consensus around here is that we're going to declare victory. And then at 12:30 at night, most of us are going to go stand on that sidewalk right there. And everybody's welcome to autonomous action. But you have to know that your autonomous action is outside of consensus. And while we do have solidarity with you, and we will work our best to do jail support, I have a feeling that most people at 12:30 are going to stand on the sidewalk. Anybody that wants to get arrested for the cause, I totally respect you. I'll go to all your court hearings. You can call me from jail if you want. But I'm moving to the sidewalk. So that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for being here. Either way this works out tonight, this is an incredible success.
Physical communication, really smart. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. So anybody who wants to have a discussion about staying here, and actually defending our water, and not being moved, should meet here.
Wave your hands so people can see you.
Please.
Oh, we got one guy.
What the hell is the matter with you?
We got one guy.
You're supposed to be activists!
We just
You
need one
spent
fucking
4 days! This is the height of what you're supposed to be doing! And you're going home!
No,
I thought we were just here to
You're
focus.
going home!
I'm not going home.
Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere.
What about the rest of you? There's only 2 hands up! What the hell's the matter with you?
We respect keeping people in jail. This the entire time, sir.
We're not here to be here past midnight.
Not everybody was happy with the decisions that were made by our organizers, but that's no excuse for what happened next.
We're not here for arbitrary. We don't give a fuck about consensus. We're staying here to save the water. We are autonomous individuals acting of our own free will to save the water. We're not affiliated with Camp Cascadia or the occupied
Anybody who wants to have a discussion, mic check.
Mic check.
So we are having, as much as I hate to say it, a general assembly right here, right now. Anybody agree? Let's get some hands up. Hands up now. Hold in and let's talk to each other.
Apparently, some people just were not going to be happy unless they got arrested that night. I'm not quite sure why they needed to get arrested there and in that way, but that was their plan, and that was what they were going to do.
You may be in a jail cell with each other, or you may be in this park for a long time together. Let's take a stack. Who wants to speak? Who wants to speak? Brother right here.
If they don't come at 12:30, I'm going back.
If you want to defend this, then you may. So the choice is up to you.
This is Camp Cascadia. But for you to say this is not Camp Cascadia and that's the line, screw that. This is Camp Cascadia. Don't shit on my hard work. This is a gigantic mountain. That's the reservoir. You want to go defend the reservoir? Go defend the reservoir. Don't shit on Camp Cascadia. We worked too hard. I have to report. This has been open planning for months. For months, people have been invited to come and be part of the planning mission. We have a crew of 12 organizers that have been meeting every week and talk to each other every day. We are all on the same page as far as the organizers go. So to say this is not Camp Cascadia is not true, and that really reeks of lack of solidarity with the people whose hard work came.
After Jesse made his speech, I stayed in the park trying to help move the process forward and seeing to it that no one voice dominated the discussion. I'm an MC, I'm pretty good at that. It seemed like the reasonable thing to do.
So, if people are going to peacefully assemble here past park hours, then that's what they're going to do. And to show strength in numbers and solidarity for one another in our community, I will sit in with them. Because I will not see them go to jail just because they have a small group. Everybody counts. Every gun that sits in them is one more person that the police are gonna criminally arrest.
Now, I would like to know what this guy's story actually is. You'll notice he did not actually get arrested that night. You would think that he himself personally was going to save all of the reservoirs by himself from how he went on. But when push came down to shove, he was completely ignored by the police. He seemed impervious. While others were being arrested in the park for being in the park, he was able to cross the line between the sidewalk and the park with impunity.
It's not about getting arrested. It's about sticking up for your community.
Who's got the stack?
Okay, wait, you can get a stack.
Are you done? Are you done?
A lot of talk about defending the reservoir.
And the police paid him absolutely no mind. Now, some of my friends who were there have decided that he was a plant, an agent provocateur. I think he just happened to be very, very good at playing the Harlequin, but either way, we need to watch out for people like this at protests, because they can get people to do things that will put them in danger, and that's not safe or healthy for anyone.
Amazing thing to see Occupy come together with people from the neighborhood, and the neighborhood association. I'm eternally grateful for everybody who put their bacon on the line. And I would ask you, as somebody who's put my bacon on the line for 10 years, to please consider just moving it to a different place. And I will appreciate that, because what you're shaking your head no, so clearly you're not even listening to my request, but I would ask you respectfully to listen to my request with open ears, because I've put 10 years into it. So if I can respect you from being here and putting your bacon on the line, you should respect me. 10 years okay?
However many people are planning on staying,
Security manager.
think of those numbers on the streets spreading out. All it takes is communicating with your brothers and sisters for a day, for a few days. I understand your efforts, but keep the efforts. Don't let the efforts die tonight because you're injured. Keep it alive, go out, spread it.
And I stuck it in until about 12:25.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have never been arrested, but I came here tonight willing to do so on the word that Jesse knew when it was going to be time and when it wasn't going to be time. Some people have chosen to stay, and I support their autonomous action. I will be supporting Jesse in his decision and the decision of the consensus that it is not the effective thing to do for this time and space. For those of you who have made their choice, I respect you. For those who have not yet made the decision, I encourage you to support Camp Cascadia and what they have been trying to do here by moving to the sidewalk in solidarity with the efforts that have been made thus far. And I am going to the sidewalk. Woo!
And then I made my little exit speech and stood in solidarity with Camp Cascadia on the sidewalk, where we all belonged. And thankfully a goodly few people who were just kind of standing there, not quite sure what to do next, came out when I did. And that's a good thing, because the police were not very far behind.
That's what they want. We're doing what they want.
did a thing with solidarity with basketball. With there was also a city there. And when we were planning that out there today, we kept on saying, not wanting to do that. All of our messages prior to that would get lost.
There's a real problem with the idea that you can take an autonomous action in the middle of a planned, organized event. What were we going to do? Simply abandon these people to their fate? Of course not. It doesn't really matter whether they're doing what we think they should do or not. We're not going to leave them to be brutalized by Portland police. So, we followed them, we filmed, and as a result of that fact that we were not willing to allow these people to be brutalized by Portland PD, they became a part of our group again, as far as the media was concerned.
How did they shut him up? Shut who up? The one who's singing. I don't know. His lungs is not sounding like he's singing.
Meanwhile, the rest of the center people are getting killed and robbed.
Do you guys remember anything about it? To defend the Constitution that you might have taken at some point?
And as Jesse predicted, the next day, the only thing that the regular news media had to say about what had happened there was that a group of unruly youth had gotten themselves arrested. And the point that we were trying to make about the reservoirs and about our water and about the criminal actions of our leaders was completely missed, just completely ignored by those who are supposed to pay attention and inform the public. Thank you ever so much, Fourth Estate. The Fourth Estate doesn't do its job anymore. You didn't see very many of them out there that night. They're not willing to risk their necks either. And while there were a lot of us with cameras doing the best we could, activist film simply isn't as much of a deterrent. We're a circus troupe. Why are we the ones out here delivering this message? Our water system has been consistently safe for us for over 100 years. It's sustainable, and it actually generates power for the city of Portland. The thing that they are planning on doing here would destroy that whole system in perpetuity. Once this is done, we can never get it back because they're going to log up there in Bull Run, and once you have human interaction with that environment, it's no longer pristine. So we at Spiral Cult Circus think it is very, very important for every Portlander to stand up and demand the waiver that we need so that we don't have to go through with this nonsense. And it is political nonsense. Conclusions. 1. Getting your neighborhood on board for events like this is a very good idea. It's very important. Point number 2. If you're going to get on board with an already progressing, organized action, make sure you understand the culture and the intention of the organizing that has been done so far, so that you don't end up even inadvertently subjecting your fellow activists and organizers to danger that they have not chosen for themselves. That's not fair. And if we undermine one another's efforts, we're just doing their job for them. So let's not. Alright? Just for future reference. And I'd like to thank Jesse and Camp Cascadia and bullrunwaiver.org and Friends of the Reservoir and all of the other people who have been working tirelessly to try and see to it that our water stays clean and safe for us to drink. Thank you. But especially, I want to thank Jesse Sponberg for putting his butt on the line for us out there and risking his reputation to do the right thing to keep us safe when it was clear that the plan on the part of the Portland Police Department was to see that we were all very unsafe. Thanks. And you have my enduring respect.
Oh, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. No, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. No, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. Yeah, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a little mug of beer wouldn't do us any harm. No, a little mug of beer wouldn't do us any harm. No, a little mug of beer wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. Yeah, we'll roll the old chariot along. Yeah, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Now a night up on the shore wouldn't do us any harm. No, a night up on the shore wouldn't do us any harm. No, a night up on the shore wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll